Good day, live from the South. I come on with the news today. It's a midday with Miz. I'm trying to hold myself. But here we are on a Monday, the day after we played the first game in MetLife Stadium. And once again, I have to come at you with the same old crap. Something so stupid and embarrassing that should never happen in the richest part of this country, where you have two NFL franchises playing on the same field on this garbage piece of shit cancer turf. This turf that has broken ankles and taken knees over the last 5-6 years at a ridiculous rate. And anyone who doesn't think so and thinks it's just freak accidents, you better go do your homework, because I did. So did Boomer Esiason and Carl Banks. People, Bosa called it the worst field in the United States. Alright? We've lost player after player, and here we are, the first morning after the first preseason game in our piece of shit toilet bowl stadium, which, by the way, is a disgraceful looking place when you look at what else has been built around this country. Alright? It's a goddamn disgrace. Right? This turf keeps on taking humans. Every game we play there, we lose an NFL player. There's no way around it. Now, Kayvon Thibbs took a cheap shot from a guy low. But again, I'm telling you, if you watch the hit, he tries to avoid it, and his cleat gets stuck in the turf. The turf monster grabs his foot, and it gets caught under him as he gets hit low. So he has no way to hop over it. Most people would have kind of jumped over it and then dove to the ground. He couldn't, because the turf grabbed his foot and the guy laid the shot on him. And then there's Darius Beavers, a guy I was so excited about. I called him one of the biggest steals in the draft. Vicious, physical throwback linebacker. I mean, the guy's all over the field. He's tenacious. Guess what? You're not going to have him this year. Why? Because Mara and Johnson for the Jets don't want to get together and lay grass. But their excuse is that they have one more year in a contract with the turf. Fuck the contract. Fuck the turf. Rip it up, lay down grass. You are multi-millionaires. And you invest a lot of money, millions, in these players that are blowing their knees and ankles out on this turf. And it's the turf. Don't think it's anything else. It's the turf. The turf is trash. The turf is beyond trash. The turf is now lethal to our own players in the New York area. And any player that steps foot on it from other teams. And players across the league will tell you they don't even want to play on this shit. They don't want to play here. Get rid of the turf. Stop the bullshit. Lay down grass. We had a dirty, muddy grass in 2000. We went to the Super Bowl. Guess what? 41-0 on that grass versus the Vikings. Players were not getting hurt at a historic rate like they are now. We cannot go into seasons missing stars. Kayvon Thibbs is now hurt. He's out 3 to 4 weeks. I don't care what anyone says. It'll be more than that. He's going to miss 2, 3, 4 games. They're going to be cautious with him because of who he is. You lost a young star, a young rising linebacker that could be big time. Now we won't know. He loses a year, and you never know. Funny how this guy played in Cincinnati, never suffered an injury. His very first fucking game on that MetLife turf, his season is over. You think I'm angry? I'm furious. A lot of people need to start talking about this turf on YouTube and all over the news. Boomer Esiason mentions it in the morning on WFAN. Carl Banks has touched on it. You guys all got to start talking about the turf. The guys in the Giants system, facility, and organization, they listen. They hear it. Trust me, they hear it. Stop bitching about it. Make sure that we don't have this turf next year. Because we've sucked for so many years, and on top of it, we're being defeated by our own turf. The stadium, we can't do nothing about it. It's ugly, and it is what it is. But lay down a nice grass surface so the Giants can play football without worrying about busted ankles and torn kneecaps. Shit's getting stupid, man. It's beyond. It's well beyond. This was supposed to be changed before this year. So here we are, Monday, all right? What are we, 3 weeks from the regular season? We played a home game, which is like the worst fucking thing we could do is play home games. Maybe we should play all 17 games on the road. Maybe we should take our home games out to the parking lot and play on concrete. I think Barkley feels safer out there. The MetLife turf monster, a disease, and the entire country knows it because everybody's talking about it. So the biggest problem on this team may not be the O-line. The biggest problem on this team may not be Daniel Jones. Maybe it's not the young secondary. The biggest problem this team has is we play on a turf that takes a player a game away from our season, destroying careers and ripping up knees. And our owner hasn't put out a few extra dollars. With the Jets owner, he has help to lay down a grass surface like many other stadiums in this country have gone to. If other stadiums could do it, why can't the New York metropolitan area? I mean, we're talking about an NFL, 2 franchises in the NFL. We're not talking about a high school. The high school fields are safer than ours. It's a joke, okay? I mean, come on now! Phibbs is gone for 4 weeks, man. And anyone will say, oh, it's only 4 weeks. Thank God it couldn't be the season. No, I don't look at it that fucking way. I look at it like we lost a leader, a superstar already. He hasn't even touched the field for a regular season down. Do you know how bad that is? And then he has an injury number 1 already in the NFL. And then we lose a young linebacker who I believe was going to be a huge player to this defense. We cannot afford to do that. And that was 1,000% the turf. Like the turf said, hey, I'm in the mood to swallow another Giants leg. And it won't end there. It's going to go on all year. You're going to lose receivers, corners. Like the game a few years ago when we lost 4 receivers in one game. One game. Lennon Marshall wasn't even touched and his leg got ripped up. Okay? Odell, Shep. Something has to be done. We're suffering through bad years. And then we got something as simple as a turf. Something that should never play a role in a negative. In our own home building. Is a huge negative. It's a disease. It's real, people. This turf is ending Giants' careers. Outside of that, Daniel Jones played really good. I love his decisiveness. He went through his progressions quick, and he hit checkdowns in stride. The man was very decisive. He knew what he was doing, and I don't think the Giants even called their real playbook. And that's a major plus. The O-line was protecting, and I think when you give Jones protection, we're going to see a pretty good quarterback. I'm not saying great, but good. Give the guy a chance with a real O-line, with Barkley on the field. You know what? I like what I saw, and you can see the discipline in the team. Not many penalties. The O-line not making any holding penalties, false starts, and it's all this coach. This coaching staff is big, and you can see the coaching staff's input in Daniel Jones and this offense, and I like it. It's only preseason. Cincinnati only played most of their backups, but you know what? We didn't even get to see that versus backups the last few years. So I'm excited that we might have a competent offense. I'm very upset that we're losing players already, obviously. Yes, Tibbs is not out for the year, but just that he's out at all, you can't sit as a diehard fan so excited about Kayvon Tibbs and say it doesn't bother you today that this guy has to start his career on the bench nursing his leg. Changes to this field has to be made. They're saying it's the last year on the turf. You know what? We'll see. But it's affecting our seasons. And it's destroying our players. Go ask Bosa. Go ask Odell. Go ask Shep. There's another preseason game next week. Unfortunately, it's over here. And you got to sit there and watch the game. And the biggest thing you're going to pray for is that we don't lose another starter. I'm looking forward to the regular season. And that's why it bothers me when we lose two key defenders, I feel like. I know one is just for a small amount of time, but still. You shouldn't have to worry that your own home field where you're supposed to feel your most confident and play your hardest, your own home field is the biggest danger to your body and legs and your season. Do something about it, Mara. Do something about it. Midday with Miz.